hello to everybody that came over to hang out for the first Moose Racing League preseason show. This is going to be pretty fun. I'm excited. We got a little bit of time to kind of talk about what's gone on so far throughout the league. Some things that are going on in real F1 life, and obviously what's going to keep happening. Also, JP, Chubb says hello.
Hello.
Hello. So Fatweed says he has some sad news. I think his sad news is that he won't be able to compete anymore. Did you guys hear that Fatweed's not going to be able to compete anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sad for the sake of friendship, but I'm not at all sad for the sake of championship.
Oh,
You're like, all right, my championship fight's better.
In a league sense, you want to have the best drivers. So
yep.
To lose out on someone like Fatweed, whose pace is obviously incredible, it's a big shame. Yeah,
I agree. Obviously Echo has the shot to keep up with us, and JP, you're getting very fast too, so it's kind of hard to keep up with you sometimes, but it's going to make tier 2 very interesting. That's for sure.
Mate, tier 2 is mad competitive.
It's
already.
pretty.
The whole season is going to be, if anyone, just earning victories or podiums, let alone a championship, is going to be, it's going to feel like you've earned it at the end of those hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It is a grueling hour and a half right now. Every single time we turn on the simulator and get going, I'm sweating by the end of every single race, man. I'm obviously spinning within the last 2 laps every single time too, but
bro, I've seen that. You got bad luck at the moment.
I guess so. That or bad skill. It's one of the two. I'm gonna go with luck just to make me feel better.
We'll massage that ego for now.
The bag. You just bottled it.
Jeez, all right. You're just going for the jugular.
I mean, I got to watch it firsthand. I was
so
enjoying, like, rooting for him. I was like, dude, he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it. And then I think I flipped down on to someone else to see a closer battle, and the next thing I know is someone passed Bungie. I was like, what happened to Bungie? Then someone else passed him. I was like, no.
Yeah, that was really awesome. I loved that race. That was a good time. Wally, you've been having a good tier 1, haven't you?
Dude, he's got pace now.
Wally, hello. Wallard. I think he broke his microphone. Yeah. Well, hey, Jay Wright, you've also been having a good tier 1 so far.
Yeah, it's been iffy. I mean, started decent. I think I got points, low points towards the end, and then or not towards the end. First race, where'd we race?
We started out in China. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got points there, 8th or 9th, maybe 10th. I don't really remember. And then Japan was having a decent race, spun.
I think you got 7th in China, by the way.
7th? Okay.
I think so.
And then Japan spun, came back for a P11, which is a track that I absolutely love. So, that hurt not getting points. I went in there knowing I wanted points. And then Singapore, I mean, it was the wet start. I was just all right, just qualify, see where I end up. And the strategy paid off. Did a 1-stop. Had some crazy defensive driving to fight my way into points position and ended up with a P3. So, I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Keep it consistent. That's the key.
Yeah. Consistency. And full-fledged just trying to do no assists has been a lot more challenging than I thought. I'm doing good.
I'll be doing a no assist race tonight, and I'll be struggling for sure.
Oh, same. I'll be there with you.
Yep, I know. Wally, we can kind of hear you.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm having the struggle of my life right now.
It's starting to kind of come through. We're getting a little bit.
I was gonna say I can hear you now.
Yeah, starting to come through. Well, hey, I've got a couple questions prepared for us, so let's go dive into the first one. Let's see. Here's my question for everybody: who has impressed you the most so far in each tier? Very easy question. We'll start out with tier 3. Have you guys been watching tier 3?
Yeah. It's been entertaining. It's sick to see the MRL. This is my second season with them, but the fact that they've managed to grow to a 3rd tier as well already, and it's just getting bigger. And so I think it's been a bit more open racing, let's say, but tier 3's been very competitive as well. It's been very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the tiers have been pretty competitive this season so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anybody specifically that sticks out to you within tier 3? That's like, wow, they are just they've gotten in there and they're starting to do
I'd
it.
say Colby is going under the radar. I don't think he gets as much credit so far as he deserves. I think he's been just slowly plugging away and doing his thing, and I think he's second in the championship or top 3 in the championship. So
yeah, he's second and he's a point down.
Yeah, so I think Colby is one that people might pick up these other like bigger names or people that they know smash it more, but I think Colby is a
he's a force,
consistent little boy.
I must agree.
He got second in his first race and third in his second race. Forgot where he ended up on the third one in Singapore. I think he might have crashed out potentially. I don't remember, but I mean, going up against like the likes of like Toast, I mean, he's doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I think for tier 3 so far, one that surprised me is Freddie.
Yep, that's who I was going to say.
Yeah, that's a good
if
shout.
you take away Gipsy and Aussie with their reserve points as reserves, Freddie's in third in tier 3 technically, not counting those reserves.
Yeah, I think he's finished every race too.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
Freddie surprised me so far.
Yeah, I'm excited for him, especially after obviously a not the best first race. A bit of a brutal error at the last lap. I want to say, but it was it was a learning experience, and he's taken that mistake and he's just improved with it. And that to me, I think is way more impressive than somebody who just comes out the gate just killing it and just never stops. Like I don't like watching movies where the hero has a great life when the movie starts, and then the middle of the movie he's got a great life, and then at the end of the movie, surprisingly enough, he actually has a great life. Like that's a terrible movie. I like watching the movies where somebody has struggled and they come back from it, and it's really cool to see that he's
I think each race he's showing more and more patience and learning race by race as well.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. Now, what about tier 2? What do you guys think in tier 2? Who's one that's kind of impressed you? And don't worry, you don't have to say me if you don't feel like it.
All right, good, because I wasn't going to say
you. Let's hear from the tier 2 drivers first, because I got a couple that I am pretty impressed by so far.
Ponjo, I'll let you go first.
I mean, it's tough because JP, you're on my list as the ones that have impressed me. But I'd say probably Moldy Dragon is my big one at this point.
Yeah, Moldy's been good. Moldy's been
he's just he's consistent.
Yeah, he's been in the 3 races. He's been just always in and around those positions. Again, like not like massively involved in like all of the action, but again, just going about his business, which I respect massively. Yeah, like you don't have to like necessarily always be the fastest, as you're saying, but if you're just in a position to be in good luck, then that's what he does. He puts himself in good positions. Yeah, exactly. I would say, go on, Ratigo.
I was going to say I'm going to go a little further down. I would actually say Arthur's impressed.
That's who I was going to say. Yeah,
this season he's had in the first 2 races he came 5th and 4th. He's not the quickest by any means, but as long as he can finish races, which I think last season he started a little iffy and then started to be a little more consistent towards the end. I would say like if he can finish races, he's going to be up in the points.
Yeah, his pace. He is like having him in lobbies for like the last, I don't know, like 6 months or so. Like it was really noticeable. Me, right, noticed it. In the last month or so, like out of nowhere, it just seemed like he had mad pace. Like all of a sudden, like he had like a huge jump. So in the league, he's been he's been, I don't know if it's been a lot of practice or he's changed the setup or something, but yeah, I think he's gone up a gear, and I think he could be up there in the top 5 this season.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Baldy Dragon or Arthur. I mean, they're both tied right now with 22 points. Moldy being new guy, I mean, just coming in, showing pace, consistency, and our third, last season racing with him in tier 2, I mean, he was a pretty consistent guy. I mean, compared to who we had in some of the drivers in tier 2 last year, he wasn't, the fastest, but he was one of the more consistent as far as getting points and not having that many problems.
Yeah, I must agree. He's got a, I would say nothing but up from here. It's going to be really cool to see how he
A lot of
does.
potential.
Yep.
100%.
Also, I think you're a little bit biased, JP, being he's your ex-teammate, but still, either way.
Look, it hurt me not seeing him in a different car, not in the Ferrari this year, but it's fine. He's got to do what he's got to do.
That's fair. Yeah, he's
Right.
got to do. Exactly.
Yep.
Now, what about tier 1? Actually, before we go into tier 1, this is a good opportunity for me to tell my dad joke that I owe. This is you guys ready for this one? I'm giving you a good one, okay?
Let's hear it.
So I went to a beekeeper and I asked him for 12 bees. Right? He gave me 13 though. So I asked him what's the extra for? And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. That's a freebie."
So many people just clicked off the YouTube video.
I don't know. But some of them are just over the top dad jokes, man. Just a little over the top.
Yeah, that's the goal. Just to make it as bad as possible. I'll give you an extra one. What did the horny frog say? Rub
I
it.
don't know. Oh wow.
That was a good one. I like that one. All right, now we get to go to tier 1 right after that. We'll let the tier 1 drivers go first. Who do you think is the most impressive?
Tier 1's a session so far.
Yeah, it literally is a sauna.
I mean, you gotta say Drix just because he's always been at the top, but I'm not gonna go with Drix. I'm gonna go with Gabo. I mean, Gabo's just showing nowhere. And I mean, he's, from what I've noticed and from what I've seen, he's gotten what? He's won the last 2 races, hasn't he? Or one of the last 2?
He won in, what was it, Japan?
Yeah.
He did not win last week, but he got.
Did he?
I think he got a podium last week in Singapore.
Yeah, I thought he was up there. So I mean, he's fast and consistent. So I mean, he's definitely putting in the work.
Yeah, he's only raced 2 races. He didn't race the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what's supposed to be who's impressed the most. I'm not going to put Drix up there. No offense to him. I mean, we know he's fast, and
exactly
he's expected to.
To be honest, I think that's just more of a compliment than anything. The fact that he's topped and he hasn't impressed us, because that's what we expect from him.
Yeah, but the one I have a couple that I would say have impressed. One would be probably Yellow and Pep, just because I'm pretty sure they didn't have prior league experience. So to know they have raced relatively clean and have finished high up. But then I also have to go someone like Wally and Bald, who moved up from tier 2 into tier 1, have been given the opportunity to race with some of the fastest people in the league. And Wally's done well. Bald, he, I think, finished 11th or 12th and then had 2 DNFs, but he's consistently been in the points. It's just that one little mistake that either causes him to spin out, or the unluckiness of Singapore. He got caught up in the mix of something, and then I think he DNF'd because of it. But he's been right up there, and it's just getting over the hump. And I think he's gonna hit that soon. And then Wally, I mean, dude, you've been incredible with your pace. I can see you being potentially top 10 as long as you stay consistent as well.
I mean, he's saying 12th right now, so he's not that far off.
He's close.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, the hump for me and Bald is getting 100% down, no traction control.
Yeah.
I think in general, I have it down. It's just translating it to the specific tracks now and kind of really learning the tracks with no traction control. But it really is crazy how much time you gain when you take that off.
As I've been told.
Something is it not crazy how many fast people we have on controller now?
That's
Mate,
stupid,
it baffles
dude.
me. I don't understand how people are so fast on controller.
It's not even fun.
I will forever and always think it's hacks. Like, I know we're on the
right?
console,
It's
but I will
gotta be.
forever and always think
Dude,
there's
I
some type of
was
hacks.
even messaged one time on Discord. I was sent a message like, "Do you want to buy F1 hacks?" I'm like, "Oh, they're real. Okay, good to know." So like,
No, yeah,
they
they're
could
real.
be.
It's just
They were selling them gamer.
they're more like on PC. Yeah, they're more on PC though. Like, I don't think you can really hack console.
You can't.
Especially when it comes to F1. It's just, it baffles me sometimes.
However, if you have a Cronus, I mean, I heard it helps you aim assist to the Apex. That's what I was told. I don't know. That's what I've been told.
Insane.
Chronuses do work. Yeah. Well, JP, who do you think has impressed you the most in Tier 1?
In Tier 1, I'd say again, yeah, Pep. Pep for me has been quite impressive. Like Righty said, for someone who hadn't had league experience, is that right?
Not with us,
or
at
league
least.
racing experience before.
Yeah,
Not with us, at least. So I think to have that, because it's very easy for people to come in and have pace and just be like, yeah, I'm a fast boy. But league racing is so different to like open lobbies or anything like that. You have to have patience. You have to have good etiquette as well. And I think some of those lads have come in and just fit right in, basically. The boys that have made the step up from Tier 2 as well, because that Tier 1 is not easy at all. So a lot of them have held their ground very, very, very well so far.
Yeah.
Very respectively. So
my pick is my pick's an establishment pick. I'm going to give it to Twan, purely because he's sitting in 4th right now, and he has managed this new influx of ridiculously fast people with grace. Like, he's still chilling up at the front after like it. If I was in his position and I'm good, right? Like, because I'm not that good, but if I was. And I was in his position of like, okay, I've held down Tier 1 we're going on season 4, and I've been in the front for 4 seasons in a row. And then you start the 4th season, and you've got like these 7 or 8 new people that pop in that are all ridiculously quick on like a 1 lap pace. I'd get intimidated. But Twan just seems like he's, cool as a cucumber, and he's just running it like
in his stride.
Yeah, like I'm so impressed.
And don't get it wrong, Twan's fast too. I think Twan's kind of one of the guys that flies under the radar, just because he's been in the league for a little bit. But like at Suzuka, before I spun out and died, I mean, I had a front row seat to him and Righty. I mean, battling it out for like the first 6-7 laps, and I was trying to catch him apart. And every time I saw him, I mean, they had to be within half a second of each other for multiple laps. I mean, so Twan's got. He's definitely kind of flying under the radar right now.
Yeah, he's quick. Also, keep in mind, he is a real racer. He races in real life, too, and that does help. He does track racing, though. I do racing on dirt, so obviously it doesn't help me on F1 whatsoever. Except for when I spin, which I do all the time, I seem to catch them more often. I'm pretty good at catching those. Hence the big wheel. It's pretty helpful. I got a race tomorrow, actually, so I need some luck sent my way, guys.
A real race?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Let's
come on.
Hope crossing for a podium, and hopefully I don't bin it in the second last run like I've been doing in these damn games.
You got this, Punji.
Now let's go for our question number 2. What track do you guys dread the most? Righty. What track is like your just this is the death of me?
All right, then let Junior guess, and I'll give you guys my my.
I think Righty's is Portugal.
That's wrong. It's high up there. I would say I have 3 that are just equally the same as what I dread.
Okay.
It's USA, which is this week.
Oh.
Portugal and Belgium probably. Cannot stand Spa.
Damn.
I know it's like a historic spot, or not a historic race, but like I cannot stand it. I just can't get to grips with it at all. Like, those 3 are like my least favorite. Yeah. But my most favorite that I'm looking forward to, Canada, Monaco. Japan was one. So
okay. Yeah, your opinions are all discredited. You just said Monaco in your favorites.
Dude, Monaco is a fantastic track.
Absolutely incorrect.
So fun. And if you can link it together, it's so much fun.
Exactly. I will say, if you can handle Monaco, I would go the route as far as TT. I don't mind Monaco. Racing Monaco,
terrible.
No thanks.
Yeah.
As long as you know the drivers, around you,
Yeah.
and you have respect for them and they have respect for you, then you'll be fine.
Mhm.
If you have some sort of grudge or something, or there was an incident that's still on like the tip of like the pot between you and someone else, it's gonna end badly. But I think if people like respect the driver next to them going into like a couple of those corners, I think we'll be fine.
Wait,
But,
you said
Monaco's
respect the driver next to you. When is there ever a driver next to you on that track? They're always behind you or in front of you.
There's definitely ways to overtake on that track. You just have to know where.
Yeah, it's scary. That's never been one of my favorites. Wally, what's your dread track?
Oh man, after last night, USA is kind of on there. It's just some of those. They're like so. You're coming down the straight, or you're getting up, top of 7th gear, and then you have a hard left in 2nd gear, and you have to slam on the brakes. And they're such late apexes. It's just trouble for me. But honestly, my most dreadful, and I really don't know why, because it's not a hard circuit. I just dread Mexico.
Really?
Mexico is one.
Interesting.
Ooh, Mexico's fun to me.
Yeah,
Mexico or Abu Dhabi? I know
Mexico or Abu
Dhabi's
Dhabi?
fun. Yeah,
Abu Dhabi's fun as well.
Interesting. Mexico or Abu Dhabi? Interesting. I think we lost you, Wally. Yep.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Now you're back.
Sorry about that.
You're
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Dude, that's interesting that you picked Mexico or Abu Dhabi. Right, JP, what about you?
Well, I'll stick to the hating home Grand Prix vibe that everyone's going on, and I actually really don't like Silverstone.
Really?
I'm not. I just don't like the track. I find it really boring to drive. And
how is it so boring?
I don't know. Just for me, like it just ain't the one for me, Chief. And then I'd put France in there as well. I find France very boring.
France
and then obviously Monaco, I wouldn't touch with a barge pole.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna break the trend. I love my home Grand Prix. I love USA. It is a top 5 favorite for me. I love that track. My least favorites are probably an even tie between China, Monaco, and France.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, an even tie between the 3 of them. I really don't like any of them. China, Monaco, and France. Just ugh.
China don't have a lot of pace.
And China's a boring track. France is also a boring track, but Monaco is. Oof.
Yep, can't stand it. Oof. Cannot stand Monaco for the life of me. Like
it's funny though, like people's different preferences, because like writing Wally, I mean, like Portugal is probably my favorite track to drive, and then
it's one of my favorites.
In Mexico, I don't mind either. I quite like those tracks.
Me too.
But it's just interesting how people have different, like literally personal preference. Like some people can absolutely hate a track, and some people will like feel the complete opposite to it.
I think it's more so if you have that confidence going around that track, you'll really enjoy it, and it'll become one of your favorites.
Portugal.
Well, just in general, like
like
you could ask someone, "What's your top 3 favorite tracks to race at the game?" They're gonna list the top 3 tracks that they're probably the most confident at in terms of pace, in terms of racecraft, in terms of consistency, and I think that also plays into it. You could also have someone that just genuinely enjoys like the track layout or something. But like I think it goes more down to like what tracks are they most confident at.
That's a good point.
It's probably going to be like their most favorite tracks.
Yeah, I rate that. I'd say I'm probably most confident at either Portugal or Austria.
We know P1.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point. Well, hey, question. Wait, what's up, Wally?
I was just going to say, I don't know if this is your next question, but what's your guys' number 1 track?
Oh, was not my next question, but that's a good question. My favorite track like my favorite track to drive is probably Portugal, but the one I'm the best at is Spa.
The best at Spa?
Yeah.
Well, that's your best one.
Yeah, it was the only time I almost had a pole qualifying in Tier 1 last year on Spa. Like, I was like barely off. I lost it to Ace by like half a tenth. It was so frustrating. I was pissed. But that was his first pole position too. Like, we killed it. Yeah, Spa's the one I'm the best at.
Yeah, I'd probably say for me Portugal. Just most confident around that track. I really enjoy it. I feel like I have genuine pace. I didn't get a set for that track for a long time as well. So I was running. I had good pace on that track just on a default setup.
You don't have setups for anything, JP. What are you talking about?
that all
right.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
What? I'll put out that I still don't have a setup for every track, but that's fine.
I have a single track.
That's incredible.
And in my Discord, his nickname is Default King, because like I don't know anyone who's faster on a default setup than JP.
It's incredible.
I don't understand it.
You're superhuman.
I put the default on and I suck. I feel like a freaking turd.
Yeah, right?
So
Same.
Yeah,
that's absurd.
Was the dub.
I would say.
Well, yeah. What's yours?
My favorite to drive. It's probably not my fastest, but my favorite to drive is Brazil. It's just when you link up Brazil, it's just Brazil's
that's a good one.
So fun.
I like what I call the roller coaster tracks, like Brazil, Spa.
Yeah.
Just the tracks with so much undulation. Yeah, Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah. Brazil's probably my favorite to race and drive. I think my fastest is honestly probably Jeddah.
Yeah,
Jeddah's pretty fun.
Ooh.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah, right. He loves a bit of Jeddah as well.
Yeah, I can't.
Right,
I can't
it's rapid around Jeddah.
Single track, like all-time favorite tracks: Canada, Monaco, Jeddah, Japan, Netherlands. Top 5, right there, hands down.
Yeah, Netherlands is a big shout. I forgot about Netherlands actually.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that
track.
walk.
I can't pick just one of those that I absolutely love, and I would say I feel the absolute quickest, like I'm pulling everything out of the lap, maybe at Jeddah, maybe at Japan, but like all 5 of those tracks are just, I love all of them.
Well, we got questions. Wait, what were you guys going to say?
Oh, no, I just said that was fair.
Yeah. Good point. Well, question 3, here's a question. Righty, do you consider yourself your team's number 1 driver?
Not being mean to Bald, but yeah. So, I mean, I think we all know from the draft, it was between Bald and Pep, and I just didn't know Pep, and I didn't know like how his league experience was going to be, and I knew I wanted to give someone from Tier 2 a chance that hadn't been picked, that I felt really has shown that like factor of that next step up. And I definitely think Bald is there, and he's shown it. It's just like either just unlucky or like just a little bit of mistake, like towards the end of the race that has like hurt him or not gone his way. If I would have went Pep, I would have probably said I'm the number 2 driver for sure. But like since I've been in Tier 1, I came 3rd in Tier 1 last season, so I would say yeah, I'm the number 1. But I mean, in terms of like team orders and stuff, like if I'm in front of him but he's faster or on a faster tire, I'm pulling over. Like I rather our constructors' hopes do better than me and my personal points.
What a sweet man. So selfless.
Lies. Wait till he's on the track.
Yeah, fuck you, boy.
Lies, righty.
Exactly. Oh, that's funny. Wally, are you your team's number 1 driver?
Seniority wise, hell yes. Pace wise, hell no. Dude, Bud is fast.
He's ridiculous. He's so quick.
He's rapid.
Now here's a better question: if Chile was still in Tier 1, would you be the number 1 driver or number 2 driver?
Yeah,
that I think it's a lot closer.
It is pretty close. Consistency wise, if we look at last season, Chile would probably. Well, even then, it's probably honestly still kind of close as far as inconsistency, but it would definitely be a lot closer if it was Chile and I. If we look at the first race, then yes, because I finished and he didn't.
And if we look at where people are at in tiers, you're still in Tier 1, he's in Tier 2, so yeah, that's fair.
Very true, very true.
Chile couldn't cut it.
He had an hour and a half to prove it. Too bad, you failed.
I'm just kidding, Chile.
Yeah, we love him.
We love you.
JP, are you your team's number one driver?
It's a tough one because it's my first time racing with Funny Bunny at all. I'd say maybe based on points so far, maybe yes.
Oh.
But
I wouldn't say
I'm happy that if Funny wants to take the number one seat, I'm happy for him to as well. Ultimately, it's for the best, for the good of the team.
What a
So
diplomatic
Lies.
answer.
Lies.
What a diplomatic answer.
if
Funny
if we're on different strats and he's got pace behind me, obviously I'm letting him through, and I'd hope that he would do the same.
Hey, Funny Bunny, if you're watching this, JP thinks you're trash. So.
Funny Bunny, if you're watching this, all you need to do is be on the better tire. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's it. Yeah, he'll always pull over for you every time.
The tires determine the
exactly.
The number one driver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. As of right now, I'd say I'm my number one driver, but I don't know if that'll continue because I've seen AJ Rose, once he gets comfortable, he starts like killing it, and it's a little scary.
I don't know anything about him. He was good.
Yeah, I've raced him 2 seasons ago, and when he dials in, he dials in. So
yeah, because last season before he left, he was like top 5 of tier 2, wasn't he?
Correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was up there in tier 2 before he left.
Mm-hmm. So I know once he dials it in, I'm back in the hot seat where I'm not necessarily a guaranteed shoe-in. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Well, now, hey, we get to go to the next question. This one was inspired by you, Wally. Thank you for this idea. We're doing A, B, C, D, E, F1 for the top 3 of each tier. Do you guys know what A, B, C, D, E, F1 is?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Wally, you want to explain it?
Yeah, so it's the WTF1 podcast when they do races, like race reviews for the whatever race happens. They have a segment called ABDCEF1. I think I just said it wrong. But essentially, they do every driver, and you rank them from A to E based on that race, which I think we're just going to do based on the season so far for the top 3, right?
Yep, top 3 of each tier. So
Alrighty.
we get to have. We'll start with tier 3. So the top 3 in tier 3 right now, of people who aren't reserves, is Toast, Chosen Tolby, and Freddy. So I'm gonna
best, I'm assuming.
Yeah, A is the worst actually. E is the best, kind of like it is in school.
It's backwards.
No, A is the best. No, I went to school in Australia. Everything's upside down there. Yeah.
You were putting it backwards, not upside down.
Oh yeah, it would be V, B, C, D. Weird letter. Well then, hey, Toast, Chosen Tolby, and Freddy. Righty, what did you rate Toast on a scale of A through E?
Toast, I mean, you kind of got to give him like an A or a B. Like China, yeah, blew everyone out of the water. And then his second race, I think he came. I'm pulling it up right now. He came 5th. I think he spun out or something happened, or he got caught up in something, or made his own mistake, maybe going into turn 1, if I recall. But I kind of want to give him an A just to start, but I'm gonna give him a B. Like, I know he has pace, and I'm probably gonna say he's gonna win tier 3, or at least be like the highest points finisher that's non-reserve.
Mm-hmm.
But I would give him a B so far. Definitely has pace. It's just whether or not he can keep that consistency. If he can keep the consistency, then I would give him an A.
Okay, Wally.
Yeah, I'd give Toast an A. I mean, he is fast, but yeah, he's had an incident or two. But I mean, again, he is first. So I mean, kind of like Reddy said, you got to give him at least an A or B. So I'd give him benefit of doubt and go with A. See how he kind of handles the rest of the season.
JPP.
I'll give him a B plus.
Oh,
possible.
why a B plus?
I didn't know we were doing
So-
plus or minuses.
So I think, he's smashed the start of the season. What was it? What was his gap in China? Like 15 seconds or something.
Yeah, he murdered.
Dominated. Was it
So far.
Singapore? Did he struggle in Singapore?
He crashed out in Singapore.
Yeah. So that's probably why I'd not give him an A. But 3 races in, he's been the best performer so far.
Yep, I'm gonna give him a solid straight up B, purely because I think Chosen Tolby, if I was to give a grade, would be the A. If I was to basically reserve like an A only for one person, I would give it to him. I think he's done overall better so far. Though the points don't reflect, we're gonna see what happens, in 2 days. But I would say for now it's a B. But Reddy's right. Like, there's a good chance he could take it. Now, what about Chosen Tolby? You guys already know my rank for Tolby.
Yeah, I'd give him an A.
You give Chosen Tolby an A?
Yeah.
Wally?
Like the same reasoning. Like, if you're gonna reserve an A for one of the top 3, I'd give it to him just because.
Yeah, out of the 3.
First 2 races, second, third. I think he was in the points for Singapore. I don't remember. But I mean, he's shown that he can compete. He may not be like the absolute fastest like Toast, but I think it's the consistency, and I think he has that consistency. So I would give him the A out of all 3 of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd go with A as well. I mean, just like you said, he's not the fastest, but he's consistent. I mean, he's only 2 points behind Toast right now, so.
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. I'll round it off with the A's. Tolby, I know that I'm sure everyone has been, but I know that he's been putting in the hours, practicing. He's been streaming a lot, just putting a lot of work in. And yeah, again, like echoing what the boys said, he may not be the fastest, but we know with league racing, consistency is so key. And I think he also has the patience and also the awareness of his level. So he just knows he's got to get his job done and he'll be in and around there. So I've been very impressed with Tolby. I give him an A.
Yeah. Now what about Freddie? Sneaking himself up into that 3rd place. He's 1 point. He's 2 points ahead of Pool Town. Freddie, would you A B C D E F or A B C D E?
I'll go with a B on like the edge of like the B to B minus territory. I wouldn't give him a C or anything lower than that. Like he definitely has the ability to be up in the points. For him, I think it's a lot more about the patience and like not getting too overwhelmed when like there's another driver behind or next to you. I mean, as we saw with China, like it was a little iffy. And then I don't really remember the second race all that well. But he did well enough to get up into P4 for the second race. So like he is getting there and he's improving a lot. And from last season to this season, I think he's getting up there. I would give him like a low end B just for like he still needs to kind of grow in that patience and the awareness of like when to make that move, how to make the move. Kind of like that's like that next step of like practice and like tuning.
Yep. And what's great is this is a really good opportunity for him to get a lot of league practice. So this is the way that like being in league racing it's so different than AI racing and online lobby. Like it makes you so much better. So this is going to be a huge improvement for him. Oh yeah. Wally, what would you say?
Yeah, I'd say a B. Kind of like what Righty touched on. I think one thing with Freddie is I think he knows he's not the fastest, but he knows with consistency in a league race, as long as he stays alive and stays out of trouble, he's basically guaranteed to finish in the points. I mean, like you said, 4th in the second race. I mean, I don't remember for sure, but I don't think he was that far back from a podium in that race.
Correct.
Just from kind of being on a good strategy and keeping his nose clean. So, yeah, I'd say a solid B.
Yep, I must concur as well.
Yeah, I'd say with a B as well. I think Freddie has pace and he has potential. I think what he's maybe lacking is what I touched on that Tolby has. where Toby has, the calmness and the patience. I think that's maybe something Freddie could learn from, and I think if he adapted that into his racing, I think he'd definitely be a challenger for tier 3.
Oh yeah, dude, he'll be unstoppable if he figures that one out. I think that's just pretty much, in my opinion, the most important characteristic is to be able to relax, which is what I've I've made mistakes myself, so I can confidently say like that's when you can relax and just chill out in the last few laps to kill it.
Even like the difference between like I think like Wright will say as well, because I mean he engineered my season last year, and I would even like the first half of the season I would stress myself out so much and get so nervous during the races, and I think even in like the season I've calmed down a lot and I've learned to deal with that because I've never done league racing before, so so I think it's just by experience. It's just about the more you do it, the better you'll get. The calmer you'll be.
A righty, and I listen to elevator music whenever I race. Calms me down.
Yeah, I've got the soothing tones of Jay Wright in my ear.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, that gives us to the next one, which is going to be tier 2. What do you think for tier 2?
Who are the top? So we got
top 3.
Bud's moved up.
So it's Echo, JP, and Moldy Dragon.
Okay. Echo.
What are the points difference? Sorry.
Before you got Echo's. Before the Echo's most recent win in Singapore, it was 25, 23, 22. After Singapore, I don't know yet, but Echo's definitely leading tier 2 right now. After back-to-back wins. I'll go first. I'm gonna give him. I'll do a B+
for Echo.
Yeah, only reason I would say is still just a little bit of awareness on his part and like the racecraft. But he has the pace. His strategies typically always work out for him. The timing of like when he chooses to make moves is pretty decent, and it's got a whole heck of a lot better. But I would say just like the little bit of more awareness of the cars around him, because there's been a couple races this season where like he may have stuck it in just a little too long and it like messed up like that lap for him.
That's what she said.
Maybe he was battling someone for too long. But I think like we'll expect more wins from him. I would expect more wins from him. I think he's going to be a challenger. But if his racecraft continues to improve, his strategies always work out. He has the pace. I don't see why he can't get up to like that highest level of tier 2 and tier 1 eventually if like the time zones and stuff work out for him again.
Junior?
Yeah,
Junior or Wally, either or. Wally, go ahead.
Yeah, go on, Wally. Go ahead.
No, I was just, kind of piggybacking almost pretty much what Righty said. He's definitely got pace. So he got the exact same Fanatec setup I have. So we kind of went back and forth for a little bit, helping him getting dialed in, and did a couple of races together. And that kid gained so much pace, way faster than I did. It was literally like less than a week, and he was faster than I was. And I'd had my setup for like a month and a half at that point. And I was like, what the hell, man? He's super fast, but again, piggybacking off Righty, is some of his when he decides to do moves. I don't really know what word to use. Controversial, maybe not the right time to do it. Some of his moves are just a little out there, as if he, being a little elbows too far out. But yeah, I'd give him a B just off pace, and I do think he's going to be a contender as well.
JP?
Yeah, I'd round him off with like a B+. I think I've been impressed with him. I've been impressed with his pace. From what I've seen in the highlights, because I haven't been able to race him yet. But he, 2 wins out of 3. You can't, realistically, you can't knock that. I think maybe his overtakes are a little bit on the fence, but you know, I think that's his driving style, and you know, maybe he'll adapt it as the season goes on. But I think so far out of 3 races to win 2 of them and to be top of the table, you know, I think that deserves a B plus at least.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the controversial. You can knock that. I'm gonna give him a C plus. Yeah, purely because 2 reasons. 1, I want to get in his head. 2, 2, there he goes. And it's working. Look at that. It's literally already working. Literally already working. It's immediately working. No, honestly, like he's very good, but he will admit to himself, like he'll admit to me, to anybody, that at least for sure the last race, he's like, I should not have won that. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but he like spun and somehow didn't DNF like twice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only did that once. So I just did mine at the wrong time. He did his at the right time, which I can't doubt the strats for that. He had a good spin. It was a smart spin when he did it. No, honestly, like he's pretty freaking good. Like I can't even lie. Like his 1 lap pace is ridiculous. He'll be on pole almost every single race. Guarantee you. It's just a question of will he be able to continue that, stay in front. We'll find out. I think with this new wheel, Wally, you said that he like transitioned to the wheel really well. I think he transitioned to the wheel well in the way of when he's on it, he's freaking on it. But the problem is it's made him more inconsistent than when he was on controller. I think he was more consistent just because he'd been doing it for so long.
Practice.
And that's just practice.
That consistency.
That's just exactly. That's just practice. He will absolutely get it. Absolutely. And then he's gonna destroy us. And then I'm totally screwed. But
I'll combat that. I don't think he's gonna get every single podium, or not every single pole position. If we're gonna talk polls, I honestly think, and if he can be consistent, he's gonna be a threat. I think Chili's gonna get a whole heck of a lot of polls.
That's fair. He's quick.
It's just the consistency for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. That's the difficulty of tier 2. Is just the consistency of the game is really all you have to play. And you'll do well. Next up would be Moldy Dragon. Yes. Actually, no. Technically, next up is JP. JP, you're sitting in.
Yeah. Just skip over him.
Second.
No worries.
We'll let JP rate himself first.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see.
That's what I want to know.
What's it?
Oh, that's too convenient, isn't it? How convenient.
Pizza's there.
How convenient it is that you just left right then.
Right. I would probably give myself. I'd probably say a C.
What?
Is that too high?
It's way too low. What are you talking about?
No. I think Singapore could have been. I got a drive through under the virtual safety car in Singapore, and Singapore I wasn't expecting much, but I had a lot more. I was a lot more comfortable on the track than I thought I would be, and I came home 10th because of the drive through. My strat worked perfectly. And I think if I had not had that drive through, I would have been in that battle that was like for like 6th, 5th, 4th, and I didn't have any penalties as well. So I think if I'd come home in like a 5th in Singapore, I think I would have been a lot higher because, you know, first 3 races, 6th, 3rd, 5th, I would have been very happy with that. But the mistake, because the race prior to that as well, Japan, I had a drive through under virtual safety car, and it's just something I need to just get better at maintaining that. So I'd say a C or a C plus. Japan, I had a good race. Even with the virtual safety car, I kept the strat well. And then came home. I know the standings all like bugged on that. I think eventually, and I had a few penalties, but eventually it was a P3. And then the first race, I didn't have much pace again at China, but I just tried to keep it consistent. And yeah, it's P6. So overall, 3 races, I'm happy. I think USA is not one of my best tracks. So if I can be in, you know, in the top 5 in the standings after this weekend, I'll be happy.
You know, Skelly puts a good point. You are too humble. I'm gonna thoroughly disagree. I think you've been doing an incredibly good job, and I'm not just doing this just to make you feel good. Like, honest to God, like, you absolutely have been doing a good job. It's that VSC thing is a little thing. It's just learning how to dance that delta.
Yeah,
it is a weird skill, and it's like such
it's
a weird skill.
Aware of the car behind me as well, because I'm on the delta, then all of a sudden I see it go red, and I guess I panic a little bit, but then I also don't want the car just behind me just to go in the back of me. But the last two have literally been as the virtual safety car is ending, I've got the penalty. So it's just, I guess it's just more focusing on that and just keeping switched on with that and knowing how to maintain that, because the one in Singapore definitely cost me big points.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think we can fault you too much on those VSCs and not wanting someone to rear in you, because I don't know what it is with our league, but we have so many problems under safety car.
I
don't know what it makes have so many problems under safety car.
There usually are. So, I mean, for you to have problems under virtual safety car versus regular safety car is, in my opinion, a W. That's not too bad. And it's just a solo problem. The problem is you are being so considerate about the person behind you, it's hurting you. And it's like your character of being super humble and being so kind all the time is literally your only downfall. And this is coming from the guy who preaches like kindness above all things all the time. Just the moment you get on the racetrack, it's you. You got to win. Like, you got to win. You got to win without an asterisk, but you got to win. And that's it, dude. Like, otherwise you are so up there. You're like an A- because it's just that one tiny thing.
I think that's
tiny thing.
But I appreciate it.
I'll take the friendship bias out of it the best I can, but I mean, no, realistically, if you look at his last season and you look at this season, the pace, the consistency to be fighting for solid points is there.
Yep.
His awareness of the other drivers is there. His strategies, I mean, I'll toot my own horn with the help of myself sometimes.
Massively. Give yourself credit, man.
It's like, you're the strategies.
But I would definitely say in the first two races, and like, you're looking at Echo, him, and Moldy. Junior has had the better finishes in the first two races compared to Moldy. Yeah, Echo won the past two, but it's Echo's like racecraft that needs to be improved a little bit more, and that awareness to go up. But I think Junior hits it on the head in every department and every area. It's just those little tiny, like, just, it's the same thing I did in Japan. It's like, I was pushing so hard to keep that delta so close to mod, and as soon as it went green, I was already halfway through a corner, already like 0.046. I know it because I saw it and it sucked, and it, like, my heart sank. I was like, damn. But like, that shouldn't affect like your judge on like that. But I mean, you know.
Yep. One thing I do want to mention, by the way, my strategy absolutely did work. I'm totally in Echo's head.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wow, look at that. I know what works and what doesn't. One thing I'm very good at is trash talk. I'm also good at beating Echo. That's for sure. Very good at beating him.
I'd give him the A, and I would give Moldy the B.
You brought me on to the next one. I was going to ask Moldy. You say B. Okay, Wally, what do you say? B.
On Junior or Moldy?
On Moldy.
Moldy, I'd give it B.
Junior?
What did I give? I gave Echo an A, didn't I? What did I give Echo a B? I kind of want to give Moldy a B+ as well. I've been very impressed with Moldy. Been very, very impressed in these 3 races. He's had good pace, and he's just sort of, like I said before, just sort of gone about his business, but gone about it really well, and been in the right places in the right time, and I think his standings show for it already. I think he's one to watch for sure. So I'd give him a B+.
I must agree. Actually, I'm gonna go a little bit higher than that. But first things first, Freddie asks the question of, can you guys give any advice to keep calm during races?
Solid response from Debo.
Besides drink lots of water and turn off the game, I really don't like. I like you can do some sort of meditation or whatever you'd like, but for some people, it's just a matter of understanding that at the end of the day, it is a game.
Yeah, I think the emphasis
is
it's in the name. It's a game ultimately. So remember why you play this in the first place is to enjoy it. And yes, this is a competitive side of it, but also no one here is we're not professional esports drivers or anything, so mistakes will happen. Try not to beat up yourself too much, and just even in race, like I even used to do this, like you just write yourself off. League racing is so it's so unpredictable. The only thing you can predict is that it's unpredictable, that there will be safety cars all the time. You could spin, you could be last by 30 seconds, and by 2 laps time you're back with a bunch and you're fresh tires. With league racing, just never, like, if you spin, just be like, right, okay, get in the pit, just basically forget about what's happened, don't dwell on it, and just crack on, because you cannot tell what's going to happen in a league race. So just try not to focus on your mistakes too much, because they will come. Everyone will make mistakes.
Must agree.
Enjoy it.
Good point.
When you do make those mistakes, you can't just say, all right, that's race over. Like, even if it's like the last lap and you're like Punju and you spin out and you're leading the race, like, just don't give up. You just gotta keep like turning around, get back on track, and just finish the race out. But also at the end of the day, like, it's just a game. We're not getting paid. Like, it's just supposed to be for enjoyment. And if it comes down to just whatever keeps you calm. Like, it's different for everyone. Like JP, you'll notice sometimes as he race, he will literally talk himself through, like, okay, upshift here, down to third here. Like, that's one mechanism to keep his mind like kind of steady. Like, I listen to soft, like, classical music when I race, because it just keeps me calm. And like, if I make a mistake, I know at the end of the day, like, it doesn't affect me. Like, I'm just trying to have fun, but you just don't give up. Like, in a 5-lapper, sure, you spin out, whatever. But in a league race, like, you never know what's going to happen. So
that brings me to the thing that I've been trying to say, that, like, MB Jacobson says it perfectly. Always stay till the end. The people that retire in the pits, it blows my mind when you retire in the pits. Minus extreme circumstances, I do not understand why you'd ever retire in the pits. Because you just don't know, dude. This is racing. Like, holy smokes, anything can happen. Even at professional levels, you never know.
I think we've said it time and time again. Just in league racing, almost my first piece of advice is finish, because chances are if you finish, you're getting points.
100%.
Yep, must agree. Well, that gets us to oh wait, yes, Wally.
No, I was just gonna say I'm kind of the opposite of what JP does as far as talking yourself through it. As far as what you're doing and during the lap in the racing, I'm the opposite. I try not to think about it. I just try and just do it. Don't think about it.
Interesting.
With me, the more I think about it, the more I'm going to mess up. And then the more I'm going to try and beat myself up. And I'm like, oh, damn, I should have took that corner in third, not fourth. And then then I get to overthinking. And then that's when a lot more.
So you try and just go into like autopilot?
Pretty much. Lately I've just been trying to, when I'm racing, I don't look at my wheel, my heads up display. I don't look at the time delta. I don't look at any of that. I just try and look directly ahead of me and just go. And that's kind of working.
Hey, I'd say it's working. You're up in tier 1 now, man. It's working.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't get a chance to answer was Moldy Dragon's rating for me. I'm going to give him the highest rating out of all. I'm going to give him an A+. I just think he's epitomizing the ideology of just put yourself in a position of luck. Like, me and my job, being in sales, like there's this saying that a lot of my coworkers say, it's like, put yourself in a position to get lucky, because you're not inherently just going to get lucky, but if you're not putting yourself in a position to get lucky, then you're just doing yourself a disservice. So him always just chilling and allowing himself to just kind of run his race and not really care so much. Like, I'm in comms with him every single weekend, and it's hilarious how just totally degaff he is the whole time. He's just vibe the whole time, and it's working because he's
chance that he's getting in these positions.
Yeah, dude, he's putting himself in a position to get lucky, and so that's why That's why I would give him the top ranking in my opinion. Now we get to go to tier 3, and we have 2 returning faces, 1 brand new one. Or sorry, tier 1, excuse me, thank you. Let's start with 3rd place in tier 1 being Gabo, our new one. He is brand new to the league. I've seen him race in some other open lobbies before. So I've known about him for a while, but Righty Boy, what would you say about Gabo?
I give him an A. I think
wow.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
His pace, his craft, the strategy call in Japan was spot on. I believe he started on medium tires, so he had the tire advantage going into the end of the race as well. Did well in Singapore. And to go toe-to-toe with like the likes of Drix, Gamer, Pep, Snowman, Budweiser, Sketchy Bull. Like we have so many fast guys in the top like 10. And he can keep it clean. He can keep it respectful. So I give him an A. I think he definitely deserves it.
100%. Yeah, I'd agree with an A, especially for Eli. Punju said that he's seen him race before, but for someone like me who had no idea who he was and just joined the league, pretty much straight in tier 1, and then comes out, wins the second race, and gets the podium at Singapore. I mean, it's hard to knock that when you just join the league with so many fast people already, and you're already at the top.
Yeah, he's not messed around. Also, Drix puts a good point up. He's line only, by the way. He's a pure racer. He's no assist as well, so he's just dialed.
Is pure racing line only?
I would say so in a video game, yes.
Because I use line as well in races.
Like when I'm playing iRacing, it's the only time I ever go without a line, and that's because the cars are slow.
I mean, that's where I think like eventually like the direction MRL is going is we're growing rapidly. I think by the time we get to the next game cycle, we'll be at. I could see us potentially having like 4 to 5 tiers, potentially even an EU tier if there's enough people. But I think if we get to that point where we're like 5, 6, 7 tiers in, I think and we have people of such a close pace, then I really think, okay, if we're going to take this league to the next level and be like a prominent league, we're going to have to make tier 1 an absolute no assist league. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's going to detract people. People aren't going to race. But that's what people and that's what people want to get to that next level. And I think the direction MRL is going is eventually it's going to get to that. Maybe not as soon as next like season and stuff, but I think
in the near future.
Yeah, I agree.
So many people who are on that verge of like they're just lights out fast and it makes no sense. Yeah. Especially on the control. I can't grasp it.
Yeah, they're crazy, dude. Like I look at these time trial times and it just honestly like I've been broken up before. Well, I was gonna say I've been broken up with before, and I'm still less sad about that than I am when I look at the time trials. Honestly, like.
Do we know if Gabo is wheel or controller?
I think it's controller.
No way.
I'm pretty certain he is, which really hurts even more.
How do you think
like the 4 of us all have? I think collectively, if we were to pull up the amount of money we've spent on our racing wheels and stuff, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah,
Except for JP, he has a $5 wheel. But I'm kidding. Oh no, wheel. He's on wheel. Okay, so Gabo is on wheel. But the top 2 are not. The top 2 are not on wheel, which is dumb.
That's because they hacked.
Yeah, dude. So dumb. Hey, I would give him a with Gabo. Just like I said, because I've seen him before. He's just hilariously good, and he's a top tier person. So yeah, I would give him a very solid A. Now, the hard part is obviously with tier 1, like you kind of have to judge them a little bit harder because they're all good.
Yeah.
Right. But it's hard to because I want to give all 3 of the top guys like an A, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Because
I think you can only give one that A.
Yeah, and if I was to give the A, I'm very tossed up between Gabo and Gamer, because I think Gamer's performing at his max. If you look at his situation, he races effectively at 2 a.m. for his time, super late, then gets up the next morning to go to school. He's like he's racing on controller. He's just insanely. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going Sorry.
No, I was gonna say just situationally, like if I had to pick one, I would give it to Gamer. I would say.
Oh yeah. If we're moving on to Gamer, honestly, I'm giving Gamer an A+. I mean, just like you said, I mean, the kid stays up till 3 a.m. to finish our race. He gets up, goes to school, and not only that, I mean, in Tier 2 last season, I mean, he pretty much won almost every race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was insane.
And then now, I mean, fourth and third, and I think he get a podium at Singapore too. I think
so.
Maybe.
I think so.
I mean, but either way, the thing that blows my mind the most about Gamer is how long he can make tires last and still have pace.
Yeah. Also, I do want to say one thing I forgot. Did you guys remember that Gamer spun out on the start line?
Yeah,
China. And I think it was on 2 of the 3 races.
I thought he died.
Yeah, he died. I don't know. I thought he was just gone in China, and then all of a sudden he's like in P3.
Yeah.
He got at China, pitted for like lap 2 or 3 for hards, and then did the rest of the race on that set of hards.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
I was taking him down at the end of China when I finished 5th. I passed him at literally like the penultimate corner. And he said his tires, those hards were at like 70-80%. And I had to catch him. So I'm like, dude, how do you have that kind of pace on 70% old hards? It's ridiculous.
Very good. He's very good. Righty, what would you say?
Oh, I just said hacks.
Caller doesn't count.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough not to give him an A as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna throw the bias, and I'm sorry, Gamer. I'm gonna give you a B+. You absolutely deserve an A, but I'm keeping one person gets an A, and the reason over Gabo you're not is just because you drive in the Red Bull, and I'm sorry. But
oh my god!
Literally because of a color. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
No, but he absolutely deserves an A. For sure.
Yeah, I'd for sure say an A. We've all night we've spoken about how highly competitive Tier 1 is, and he's gone from Tier 2 into Tier 1, and it's not even like anything's changed at all. He's just fit right in there. Not only is he fit right in, he's been mad competitive. His what he said is his tire management is incredible. I think the one thing that does hurt him, and I think he showed a couple of vulnerabilities last season, was on the tracks where he struggles because it's a wheel track. So I think Japan, was one of them. Like he really struggled because it's a tough track on controller. I think that could happen this year if a couple of races where, if he is struggling on controller, and he's in a tougher tier where he will be punished more. But I think overall, he's just fit right in, and his dedication, like we said, staying up that late to race is admirable. So I'd give him an A.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
You're right. Those wheel versus controller tracks, as people like to call it. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. He does.
It was weird last year in Japan actually racing him, because normally he's about 30 seconds up the road. So I mean, it was nice, don't get me wrong.
And then also when you guys were in Abu Dhabi too, that's definitely a wheel track.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi, yeah.
And
Abu Dhabi. Me, him, and OG had a mad battle for like half the race in Abu Dhabi. That was a sick one.
That was really fun. Yeah, you heard me screaming. If you ever watch those replays, I was jazzed up, dude. It was so fun. Well, then that gives us down to Drix as our last one. Righty, what would you say?
F.
Where'd you put JP? Hits him with the F.
I'll give Drix the. I mean, you definitely have to give him an A as well. I think just for the DNF, which looked really weird because it didn't. I mean, he had like the slightest switch of like oversteer or understeer. I don't even know. It looked so weird. Like it looked like he did nothing wrong and his car just sent him into the wall. But I mean, he did DNF. But I mean, obviously he's going for the title again. He's driving the car I drove last year, so I like that. He's out of the Red Bull, which is nice. But
I mean, you said you can only give one person an A, though.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm going to give him a B+. I mean, he did DNF. Like,
yeah.
I mean, how can you give someone an A if they DNF? I mean, you got to at least finish. But no, I mean, he's going to be up there. You know, he is. And it's going to be close. I think tier 1 isn't going to be deep. I think if it goes like it is, I could see tier 1 going down to the last race.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, for sure. That
would be sweet to see.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Hopefully we go. The best thing that could happen in tier 1 is if we go down to the very last race, everybody's equal on points, and then with 5 laps to go, somebody crashes and we have an improper safety car. That would be that would be the best thing that could happen.
I think that's honestly the first time that would have ever happened in the sport.
You know, it would be, and it would be actually impressive to make some. And then honestly, we should tell the real F1 about that because it would make great TV. Like they could actually make a Netflix. They could make a Netflix series out of it. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, Mod would bring the safety car in. You know?
Yeah, I mean that would be about right. Wally, what do you think
I'll give him a B.
What do you think for Drix, Wally?
I mean, kind of sticking with what Roddy said. Only one person getting an A. I mean, B+. I mean, borderline. I mean, not even really borderline A-. I mean, Drix is. You know, outside of this season, I mean, last season, Drix was basically expected to win every single race. This season, obviously, is a lot different with so many new fast guys in here. But to be fair, he did win the Stay Away From Me award. And if I'm not mistaken, he did have the most penalty points in Tier 1 last season. So he more moments of, you know, fast, raw pace, but he does have his moments of, you know, kind of sticking his nose where it shouldn't be, maybe, or just, you know, getting penalty points. But I mean, yeah, Drix is still, I wouldn't say 100% expected to be up there right now as far as winning, but he's definitely in the running, and I definitely think Tier 1's going to come down to, if not the last race, the last 1 or 2 races as far as the championship.
I think honestly, hot take. I think all 3 tiers are going to come down to a last race. I think there's going to be a chance on the last race for all 3 tiers.
Super Sunday.
Dude, how freaking nuts would that be?
All 3 titles being decided in the last
That would be insanity. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping I blow out tier 2 before that last race, but I don't know, man.
It won't happen.
I'm going to be struggling, to stay up there. Honestly, like as much shit talk as I give, like it's going to be hard for me to take this one. I'm going for it, but it's going to be tough.
I'm going to finish top 10.
You'll do it. JP, what do you think for Drix?
I'll back the B arguments. I think for him, just the DNF, because for his incredibly high standards and the high standards that everyone holds for him, to not win a race is quite disgraceful, really. So I'll give him a B. I think you know, he's DNF 33% of the races this season, which, you know, is just not good enough, really. No, I mean, obviously everyone knows Drix's talent, Drix's ability. I'd say out of the top 3, like I said, you know, we all have such high standards for him. So I think that's just a compliment to him more than anything.
Yeah.
If we don't see him winning.
Yeah, that's why that exact methodology or like thought process is why like I would personally rate him. I would give him probably like a flat B, maybe even a B-, just because I think he's got more in him. I think when he gets challenged, he like he hasn't really had like a serious challenge in a while since Scarrato was here, and Scarrato was just so aggressive about challenging him. It was like it wasn't fun to race against him. But now he's got, you know, 4 or 5 people that can regularly give him a fun day. Yeah. And he's got to like really put it down. Because like the moment there's a rain on the track, Yellow Snowman's going to win. Guarantee you. I think Yellow Snowman will win almost every single wet race this year. He is ridiculously quick in the rain. Like it's unbelievable.
With automatic gears.
Mm-hmm.
Mad.
What?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So like, it's just it's so different than it was last year, and that's just for me to give an unbiased opinion. My biased opinion is Drix is absolutely the best driver of all time. Oh my gosh, MB Jacobson just gifted 5 subs too. Thanks, dude. Big
That's
thanks,
nice.
man. Hey JP, you got one of them. Look at that.
Ooh.
Junior wasn't already subbed. Damn.
Wow. I mean, like that.
Yeah, JP, what a rude man. Jeez. No, I'm like I think Drix is so damn good that now he's gonna have like a serious challenge, and I don't think it's really shown quite yet exactly how serious it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for the races
I hope
that
it's a
he's
serious
like
challenge.
really gonna have to fight. I'm so excited for those races because that's just gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be a crazy season.
Yeah, it's been wild. Hey, speaking of crazy season, now that gives us a non-planned question, as that's the end of our ABCDEF one. But just for fun, you guys have all been watching the preseason testing, I'm guessing.
Oh, I haven't seen much of it. I've been working a lot.
Well, I don't even give a crap about the testing whatsoever. All I care about, which color scheme, which livery do you guys like the most now that the design has finished of the car as well?
Not even gonna answer.
Yeah.
You said you're not going to answer?
This is too heated of a debate.
Yeah.
No, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on.
Hot topic.
No.
Exactly. That's the whole fun. Come on, let's hear it.
Like legitimately, like, yeah.
We did a tier list in my my stream the other day. And
So here's what I'll say: livery, pure livery, Aston Martin, 100%. Entire car, Mercedes or Ferrari.
I like how you distinguish those.
That Merc with no side pods, it looks so weird when you first look at it, but the longer you look at it, you're like, okay, it's different and it looks good.
Yep. I totally agree with that.
And if they just crack the code with no side pods, I can't wait to see the shuffle of what other teams try and implement that throughout the season and how quickly they can do that.
Yeah.
I respect that he actually broke up and said pure livery, because so many people, and this is why I get so heated about it, so many people say, oh, the livery looks so good, but they're judging based off of like the whole car itself.
Yeah.
If you're looking pure livery, yeah, Aston Martin I think has the cleanest looking livery. But pure, like what the car design looks like, I mean that Ferrari looks incredible.
It's
but if you're
wild.
talking pure
Ferrari
livery,
so
Ferrari is not the best, and so many people, and it irritates me seeing it on Twitter and being talked about. So many people are like, "Oh, Ferrari's livery is this, that. It's so great." It's not. It's just because it's a classic red. Like they judge it so.
I mean, that's their opinion. They're allowed it.
Yeah.
Why, JP? Is that your opinion?
Yeah.
I do like the Ferrari.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but I do really like it. The Aston Martin is nice. I really like the Alpine, to be honest.
Really?
I think I'm a big fan. Nah, the blue, the dark blue.
Blue and
like
pink.
I think the pink looks pretty sweet.
The pink is nice, but it's literally just that Force India.
Wait, hold on. Here's a question. Wally, do you wear glasses?
Yep.
Okay, I was going to say the people with glasses obviously don't have as good of taste, which would make sense because they can't see quite as well.
Wow.
What are you talking? I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding. Honestly, I like the pink. I like the pink a lot. I think the blue is a little bit weirder, but I like the full pink.
The blue and the pink is what throws me through the loop. Is if it was just the solid blue and then they did something like Aston where it was like a smaller, like Aston did that like small, that nice like green. If Alpine would have done that with the pink, I think it would have been better. But like, I mean, the pink looks sweet. Like I like it.
I think BWT just wanted a full.
To see such a punchier car on the grid too. It's like the McLaren. It's so punchy.
Yeah,
so
the
nice to
McLaren
see that
definitely.
shake up.
The McLaren's growing on me for sure.
Looks better than launch. Did you guys see they changed the livery a little?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it looks better now than it did at launch.
Yep.
They added a little bit black to it.
Well, they have two different liveries. They have a night livery and a day livery.
No, that night livery is the esports livery.
Yeah. At least from what I've read, the night, the iridescent, glow in the dark, whatever you want to call it, that's for esports. And from what I've read, I guess all the teams can create an esports car for the esport drivers to race.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
I
how
would-
that'll work.
I would personally say, hey, with the Alpine thing, I think if they had blended the colors, like say they had blended the blue and the pink with the purple in between and it was a gradient, I would be crying, dude. My God, it'd be the coolest thing in the entire world. That would be the coolest thing ever.
I do think the Alpine BWT pink looks better than the actual BWT pink car.
Significantly better. Significantly better.
Yeah.
What about Alpha? I think their livery is very like kind of bland in the design. Like it doesn't really throw a lot at you, but that Alpha red with the white looks so clean.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked those two colors together.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice. I'd say an honourable mention to Williams as well. I think the Williams is quite nice.
Yeah,
I like the diamondy.
It's
shape.
different, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My personal favorite livery, just a livery as a whole, and this is the one that everyone's probably going to disagree with me on, but I really think now that Haas has changed the livery, they have the best one.
I
really
knew
do.
you were
Clean.
awesome.
I mean, I don't mind it to be honest.
It's just
I think it looks good.
as good as it could
It
get.
looks better.
Yeah, it's so much
Better
better
in the right direction. I wouldn't say it's the best,
I mean,
but it's
also keep in
definitely the
mind,
right
they had nowhere to go but up because they were for sure basically the worst prior. So, but
How do you guys
for me,
think Magnussen's gonna do?
I think he's
I'm
gonna be
so
great.
excited to see him back. I'm so excited to see
It's gonna be really cool.
I wanted him or Hulkenberg, and I'm glad that it was at least one of them.
I think it's the funniest that Magnussen got it purely because of his tweet about the livery, not a month ago. It's his second most recent tweet is the freaking picture of the VW Beetle saying the Haas car looks nice, and then his own comment on it is incredible. He commented on it like the day he got his announcement. It was like, well, this aged well.
That's
You
amazing.
guys-
Love that.
I mean, everyone welcomed him back with like open arms too. Like
Oh.
he already has that relationship, so like I'm so excited, and we actually get to see what Mick can do against
Mhm.
like a
Very
driver
true.
of skill. Like he's been in like he had decent years when Haas was more in the mid pack.
Yep.
So I mean, you
And-
could teach him how to slam a door as well.
This is true. This is true. One thing that's really important to say also is the biggest rivalry out of like, in my opinion, in the most recent years, like the most heated one besides Nico and Lewis is K-Mag and Hulkenberg. So
Oh yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
hyped that Kevin got it instead of Hulkenberg because that probably bothers the living shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I hope it just makes him a better driver for his other. I mean, he's a reserve driver right now. I hope he gets into a different series and goes and kills it because Hulkenberg's a good driver. Don't get me wrong, but I think Kevin's better.
I would have loved to see him back. I mean, that's the other thing is you could also say, should there be more than 20 cars? Should there be more than 10? There's so many drivers who absolutely deserve a seat in F1.
That's the thing. It's probably the most brutal sport, just because you know
It
all
is.
these different sports have hundreds and hundreds of.
It is the most.
professionals, and this is like there's just 20 seats.
It's the most exclusive sport in the world.
I mean, Albon, he got kicked out. Everyone thought he was probably done or likely done.
Mate, how many times do we see that though with like young drivers that have potential and then they take a year out and then a lot happens in a year and then you forget about them completely. You know, it's such a brutal sport. And I'm gassed personally for Albon, for him to be back in the sport. I hope he can do bits at Williams.
Yeah,
I think he can have a big
second
seat
shot
to fill because I know George Russell did a lot for that Williams team.
Me and Nikki were both like teammates in tier 2 or in F2.
In tier 2.
They already have that. In tier 2.
They've been promoted to tier 1 this season, yeah.
They both have that relationship, so it helps.
It's going to do better between Albon and Latifi.
I would say Albon.
I'd say Albon.
I think he has because one Mercedes gave him the shot because he's not a Mercedes driver. All the talk about like, okay, what can he know? Should he know? I think he has a lot of pressure from a fan's perspective for him to do really well.
Yep.
And I think if he can match and or succeed what George was doing, I think he's going to be on for a seat, whether it's back in a Red Bull seat or potentially I could see him in Alpha maybe or Alpine if like Valtteri or Valtteri has a multi-year deal, but if Alonso leaves, I could see him jumping up there.
Yeah, potentially. That's what I was also because I know that Russell, not only on the track but off the track, did a lot for that team.
Yep.
So I feel like Albon, George really, really set a high standard for Albon to fit in on off the track. But I think he could definitely have the right attitude to fill those boots.
Now, hot take. The last hot take I will say. I think Alonso is going to be bottom 3 this year.
No.
Wow. That's a super hot take.
No. Could you say that?
I think so.
I think Ocon will outscore Alonso, but Alonso being bottom 3, that's big.
No.
So let's hear the rest of this out. If you think he's going to be bottom 3, who's the other 2 with him?
Great question. Oh yeah, for sure. They're gonna DNF each other every single time. That's why.
You can't throw someone with like Alonso with the stature he has. I mean, 2-time champ, and he left and came back, but I mean, for how old he is, and even stepping out for a season or 2, the man can still race.
He's still good. No, I'm not saying it's based on his skill. I think his car, the Alpine car, is going to be just going to consistently get outperformed.
I don't think we've seen a clear cut order yet, and I think a lot of teams are really sandbagging. If you've spent the time to watch,
they've got to be, dude. They've got to be.
You've seen they'll have fantastic sector 1s or sector 2s, and they completely back off in sector 3, or they completely back off in sector 2, and they'll do purple or green 1 and 2s. They're not putting the performance in. They're running high fuel loads, obviously, because they really want to test tire wear, durability.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see the true order until qualifying next week.
Yeah.
Even in practice for next week, I don't think we're still going to see the true, we might start to get glimpse of maybe the top 3 potential teams. I mean, my expectations, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, those 3, they got to be the top 3. McLaren on the edge of Ferrari. But I mean, with testing how it's gone this year, I think it's going to be up in the air. I don't think we're seeing the true pace and durability of these cars yet. And this porpoising or whatever.
Porpoising.
That looks horrible to drive. That looks rough as shit.
It looks like a damn bobblehead.
It looks terrible, dude. Looks awful. Yeah, I would hate to be driving one of those cars right now. It just looks terrible. They need to have some serious cushion underneath their butt just to make it even mildly bearable.
How good does that sound though to say next week?
I know, right? It does feel good.
3 months gone.
I'm so excited.
It's funny. I've never been a super big sports person when it comes to football or soccer or American football or whatever. Like basketball. I've never been super into it, but I've been mildly into it. But Formula 1 and WRC are the only sports I've ever really gotten into and really enjoyed. And religiously watched, and I've never felt this deep yearning for something to come back like this. So I'm very, very, very excited.
Oh, bro, it's getting emotional attachment to sport is
it's pretty fun. Also, by the way, the bottom 2 underneath Alonso, in my opinion, if I was to grade who's going to end up in the standings, I think that the Alfa Romeo is also going to be very bad. So I think Guan Yu Zhao is going to be down there. I think Valtteri's going to severely outperform the car itself, but he's going to be limited. He'll barely be in front of Alonso. And I think it's probably, unfortunately, going to be another Aston Martin, probably going to be Lance Stroll in the back with the 3 of them.
I was going to say, I could see that's 5 this year.
Yeah, so it's going to be really hard to see that one happen, but I think that Aston Martin's going to get fucked this year.
I know you guys, you guys got a league race to join soon, but I think a good question to end this on is thoughts on if Max is going to go back to back or not.
No. No shot.
I just thought I'd ask.
I actually think I think Hamilton will win this year, and I think Mercedes will win the championship this year, and I think Hamilton will get the most poles, the most wins. I actually think Red Bull are gonna struggle, just in terms of potentially maybe a bit of bad luck as well. But I think they're gonna have more DNS this year, and just those little moments where it's it's just a bit of bad luck and stuff. And I think they're not going to be challenging at all.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think so too.
It's too soon
When
to say. I don't think Red Bull are going to have the car that they had similar to last year. I don't think Mercedes will either. I think the drivers themselves, like Max, great driver. You got to give it to him. Lewis, fantastic driver. Like they're going to push those cars to the limits, and they're going to make that car better than what it probably is.
100%.
But I think it's way too early to say if Lewis is going to get it. Like obviously I want Lewis to get it. Obviously. I think it's way too early. I think he's going to have just as hard as a struggle this year as he did last year in terms of like competition wise. And I think that's what we all want. We want to see multiple guys up there for it.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Wally?
I honestly think Lewis is going to get the 8th one this season.
Here's hoping. I would love to see it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would bet 90% of the F1 fans want Lewis to get it this season. If you just look at the Mercedes car, how from Barcelona to Bahrain, they almost completely rebuilt that entire car without those side pods. And plus, my big thing is Max. Going into last season, they had the car. Max is again a good driver, but definitely they had almost an equal car with Mercedes, and I think that's what got it there. And I also think that Red Bull's not going to quite have the car this season, and Max has never defended a championship after winning one. Lewis has won and then lost to Nico, so he knows what it's like to come back and have to essentially not in the words of carrying the team, but he knows and understands the pressure and knows what he needs to do to get that back. And I think that, and plus just experience overall, I think that's going to play a big factor.
I must agree. That was great. That was a good question to finish us off. That was a good one. Well, hey guys, thanks for. What's up, Wally?
But I was just gonna say I figured I already knew the answer, but.
Yep. Well, hey, thanks you guys for joining for this first week's show. That was super fun.
Of course.
I'm excited. I'm excited to keep doing these. We'll start doing them more closer to every two weeks. We just did this one on the 3rd week, so. Basically every 2 to 3 weeks we'll be popping one of these up, especially if something very interesting happens in the real world of F1. We're definitely going to do one of these to add it in. Well, hey guys, I hope you all have a wonderful night. JP, I know it's a little bit past your bedtime.
What are you talking about? I'm going to go smash Warzone for about 4 hours.
No, he's not. He's going to play like 3 games and then be like, I hate this game.
Yeah, by smash Warzone, he means get smashed in Warzone.
Smash the Xbox, good.
Exactly.
No, all right. My boys are on Minnesota right now, so I'm going to be watching.
Well, hey, I hope you guys have a beautiful night. Righty, I'll see you in the league race.
Yes, you guys doing. I'm taking the line off tonight. So.
Oh my God, I hope I see you in my rearview mirror then, but I probably won't. Even with that, you'll still probably beat me. Wally, I hope you have a beautiful night. Have fun building your Legos.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a grind. Barely halfway done.
Yep. Well, all right, guys. I shall see y'all later.
Appreciate you hosting, Manju.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for jumping in, guys. Later.
Peace.